Hi, my name is Joseph Sigrin, and I'm applying to become a front-end developer at the Turing School of Software and Design. I originally heard about coding boot camps on TV, so I decided to investigate what that involved, because it seemed like a pretty nifty idea. And what I found is that most coding boot camps are very disingenuous in terms of what they actually teach you to do. Most coding boot camps will teach you that they're training you to be a software developer. And I don't think that's true at all, because I don't think someone who graduates from a coding boot camp can necessarily compete with someone with like a software engineering or computer science degree. What I do think that a coding boot camp does well is training web designers to develop web pages that run almost exclusively in web browsers such as Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, or Google Chrome. My past experience coding is that I actually went to a traditional computer science program, four-year computer science program. What I found is that most of the coursework, or a lot of the coursework, had nothing to do with the field that I wanted to be involved in, which was software engineering. There was lots of general education requirements. I was also not really taught how much of the theory that I was learning, how I could apply that on day one to a job site, which I think coding bootcamp will do a much better job of, is being much less about theory and much more about things that you can apply to a job. I've also wrote thousands and thousands of lines of Java code during my time as a student. Let's see. But because I dropped out of, as a computer science major, I had to join the military because they offered to pay my college loans. So I became a nuclear mechanic in the United States Navy. And what I learned, what I do better than other people, is probably studying. I can spend vast amounts of time studying, more than other people. People would joke around that I spent all my time in the schoolhouse because that's the only time they would ever see me, and I would be there later at night than they were, and I'd also show up earlier in the morning. So I think I'm much better at studying than other people. What have you learned in the past few years that influenced my life? I learned that I probably shouldn't be a mechanic, and I probably shouldn't have a job related to my past work experience, because I'm ADD, and the difference between coding and being a mechanic is that if you make a mistake as a mechanic, you can destroy a multi-dollar piece of equipment, whereas as a web designer or software engineer, if you design a program and it doesn't work, you can simply recompile it or redesign it, and it works. Let's see, what have I had to work the hardest for? That's also being in the Navy nuclear program, which requires 80 hours a week or more. And it also requires lots of sleep deprivation, not necessarily getting much sleep in order to get your job done, or my job done. Where would success in the program take you in the next 5 years? I would like to transition from being a front-end web designer to perhaps being a full-stack developer, to then perhaps being a software engineer. How I would do that is gaining the necessary experience to show that I can get the job done using concepts that I learned at your school. This concludes my application. Thank you for your time.